The gaming industry has had a rough year. Layoffs, studio closures, and the cancellation of major franchises have left many wondering what the future holds. But not everywhere in the world is struggling. In fact, some gaming markets are thriving, particularly in China, Japan, and South Korea, where studios continue to pump out successful, innovative titles. Meanwhile, many Western developers seem stuck in a cycle of recycled ideas, excessive monetization, and corporate meddling that frustrates players. But today, we're not talking about another disappointing Western studio. Instead, we're diving into a major bombshell, one that could shake up the mobile gaming industry forever. Saudi Arabia has just bought Pokémon GO. Yes, the same game that took over the world in 2016 and has generated billions of dollars in revenue is now under Saudi ownership in a $3.5 billion deal. Before we break down what this means for the future of Pokémon GO and the gaming industry as a whole, don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on What's Up Nerd Insider. We cover everything gaming, anime, movies, and nerd culture, and you won't want to miss our deep dives into gaming's biggest controversies. And if you want to try out the latest games without spending a fortune, check out GameFly. GameFly lets you rent physical copies of games and have them delivered straight to your door. Click the link in the description to start your free trial today. Now, let's dive into this shocking acquisition. Niantic, the company behind Pokémon GO, Monster Hunter Now, and Pikmin Bloom, has officially sold its gaming division to Scopely, a Saudi Arabian mobile game developer, in a $3.5 billion deal. This means that Pokémon GO, one of the most profitable mobile games in history, is now owned by Saudi Arabia. Why is this such a big deal? Because Saudi Arabia has been aggressively buying into the gaming industry in recent years. They've already invested billions into companies like Nintendo, Activision Blizzard, and Electronic Arts. But this is the first time they've outright acquired a major gaming studio. The purchase is still subject to regulatory approval, but industry experts expect it to go through without any major roadblocks. And when it does, Saudi Arabia will officially control one of the most recognizable and influential mobile games of all time. But why did Niantic sell in the first place? On paper, selling Pokémon GO might seem crazy. After all, the game is still making money. Reports show that in 2024 alone, it generated over $1 billion in microtransactions. But Niantic had a huge problem. They could never replicate Pokémon GO's success. Niantic tried launching multiple augmented reality (AR) games to cash in on the hype, including Harry Potter, Wizards Unite, shut down due to low player engagement. Catan, World Explorers, failed before even fully launching. Pikmin Bloom, struggled to find a lasting player base. Monster Hunter Now, popular but nowhere near Pokémon GO's scale. The truth is, Pokémon GO was a once-in-a-lifetime hit, and Niantic never found another game that could match it. Without consistent revenue from new games, Niantic struggled to stay independent, making this sale inevitable. So, what does this sale mean for the future of Pokémon GO? Let's talk about the impact. Whenever a major gaming company changes ownership, players worry about how it will affect their experience. In this case, Saudi Arabia's ownership raises a lot of questions, including: will Pokémon GO change to reflect Saudi values? Will microtransactions become even more aggressive? What will happen to events like Pokémon GO Fest? Could Saudi Arabia restrict certain in-game content? One of the biggest concerns is whether Pokémon GO will be altered to align with Saudi Arabian cultural values. The country has a history of restricting content related to LGBTQ+ representation, gender identity, and specific religious themes. Pokémon GO previously introduced non-binary character models, which some fans now fear could be removed. Saudi Arabia's gaming investments haven't had a direct impact on game content yet. But now that they fully own Pokémon GO, we might see small but significant changes in how the game is run. Another major issue is monetization. Pokémon GO has already been criticized for expensive microtransactions, but under Saudi ownership, some worry it could get even worse. More aggressive monetization tactics, higher prices for in-game items, and new premium features could be introduced to squeeze even more money out of players. And then there's the bigger picture. What does this sale mean for Pokémon games as a whole? The Pokémon franchise is one of the most tightly controlled brands in gaming. Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokémon Company have always been extremely protective of their IP, which makes this sale even more surprising. During the latest Pokémon Presents event, Nintendo announced Pokémon Champions, a new game that will allow Pokémon GO players to transfer their Pokémon into the new title. This suggests that despite the sale, Nintendo and the Pokémon Company plan to keep working with Pokémon GO. But there's still a lot of uncertainty. Will future Pokémon games integrate Pokémon GO as deeply as before? Will Saudi Arabia influence how Pokémon GO connects to other titles? Only time will tell. This sale is just one part of Saudi Arabia's larger gaming takeover. In recent years, they've been making huge investments in the industry, including buying a $3 billion stake in Nintendo, owning 8% of Activision Blizzard before Microsoft's acquisition, acquiring stakes in EA, Take-Two, and other major publishers, attempting to buy Embracer Group, owners of Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. Until now, Saudi Arabia focused on buying shares in gaming companies. But with the Niantic deal, they now fully own a major studio. This could be the first of many full acquisitions, meaning we might see even more major franchises fall under Saudi control in the future. Could Saudi Arabia eventually buy a console manufacturer? Could they try to acquire Game Freak or another major Pokémon partner? These are real possibilities in the coming years. So, what does this all mean? Pokémon GO's sale to Saudi Arabia is a major moment in gaming history. Whether it leads to positive changes, aggressive monetization, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. This is just the beginning of Saudi Arabia's gaming ambitions. What do you think about this acquisition? Are you worried about Saudi Arabia's influence in gaming, or do you think this is just business as usual? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Waz Up Nerd Insider for more deep dives into gaming's biggest stories. Plus, if you want to play the latest games without breaking the bank, check out GameFly. Rent physical copies of your favorite games and get them delivered straight to your door. Click the link in the description to start your free trial today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.